Hey guys, it's Danielle Massi. It's Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we're going live like we do every single week. And today's topic is going to be a little bit different than what we've done before. I guess a different take on what we've done before. Because something has been going on that is really just kind of hitting me in a weird way. And I used to be really triggered by this. Now it's not so much a trigger as it is a moment to bring awareness to something that can bother me sometimes. Maybe it bothers you too, I don't know. So we'll talk about that. But for those of you guys who are totally new to my world, I'm Danielle Massi. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, master shadow worker, and past life regressionist. Hey guys who are coming on now. Hey Lindsay, hey Ange. So what I want to talk about is using the shadow to create your light. It sounds like a pretty generic, broad topic. But the reason why I want to do this today is because I have been kind of noticing a lot of people on social media, especially on TikTok, talking about coaches who really spend a lot of time talking about the amount of money that they make. So these are the ones who are like, hey guys, like made $40 million in the last 3 seconds. This is something you need to be a part of. And that's the marketing technique. When I see that stuff, and I see it pretty often, the first thought that I think to myself is that this person is trying to capitalize on fear, because fear is a powerful motivator. Before I even got into psychology, like this is like going way back. When I was in high school, I was determined to be in advertising. That was what I wanted to do with my life. I was sure I was going to live out this Sex in the City lifestyle, and I was going to just, create graphics, and it was going to be amazing, right? This was going to be my life. And when I was doing that, it started off with a couple of years of graphic design and advertising work at FIT, and then I continued that over at Temple University before I realized that the advertising world felt so icky. Like everything about it was really just trying to get at people's pain points, trying to figure out what their fears were. It was getting into their minds, but doing it from an angle that felt so awful and so out of alignment with everything that I stand for and who I am. So obviously I switched majors because that's why I'm here now, but it reminded me of what I'm seeing now in the coaching world. This whole idea that all these coaches out there, and this is not everybody, because they're amazing, wonderful, lovely healers who are incredible to work with. But the ones who try coming in and harping on this point, the idea that they can get you to make millions of dollars in your sleep while working little to no hours at a time, it just hits wrong. And I think it's because it reminds me of what I saw in the advertising world in the very, very limited time that I studied it. This idea that if you can get people afraid, if you can tap into their lack mindset, if you can just kind of hit that nerve at the right angle, what happens is they buy. They buy when they're like that. A lot of companies use this tactic. A lot of companies, if you listen to the words and the slogans of songs, or if you look at the colors, like Target is all red, which is an agitating color. If you look behind the scenes at what's happening, it is all designed to create fear. And that fear triggers a big response within your body. It makes you need to do something because you have excess energy. And so what happens with that excess energy is you want to resolve it. You want to figure out how to calm your body down, how to really allow your nerves to quell. And when that happens, it'll make you feel better. So what you usually do is you buy the thing, you buy the product. And because this is the answer, right? This is how you're going to get better, according to them at least. And when you do that, what happens very often is you end up really disappointed at the end, because the tactics that made you purchase it in the first place do not equate to the product that you're getting in the end. They're not trying to sell you a product. They're trying to sell you a dream. And that dream is not even your dream, it's their dream. It has nothing to do with you. So this idea of really just going back to square one, the basics of talking to you guys today about understanding how the shadow creates your light, comes from this. Because I got into shadow work after seeing all of this, right? Oh, hold on, let me see. Angela says critical whiteness theory, so embedded into people's systems. Exactly. It is really sad. We can capitalize on the misfortunes of others and sell you this idea that you can have something. Just allow yourself to have it. This manifestation piece, right? Like it's so easy. But everybody's starting at a different level. Some people are starting a lot lower than other people. Some people are poor. Some people have racial identities that make things harder to access. Some people have religions that make things harder to access. Some people don't have connections the way other people do. And so this idea that you can just manifest things can be misleading. Because I do believe at my core that abundance is available to everyone. But the piece that stands in the way for most of us, and the thing that we should be paying attention to, is our shadow. Because it's within the shadow that we can really uncover those pieces and evaluate them and heal from them and release them and let them go. And when we do that stuff, when we actually focus on the healing instead of focusing on someone else's dream, we actually get where we're trying to go. Because anyone can achieve anything. But it's not like, boom, I just woke up and I'm making $1 million. That's ridiculous. And honestly, should it even be about the money? I don't think so. Money is a tool. That's all that it is. It's a beautiful tool, and it's a wonderful tool to have a lot of, but it's not everything. Not even close. Abundance, true abundance, is about having a life that feels totally aligned. Like things are easy, because that is a luxury. Growing up and having things be hard for me, right now having life be easy is a luxury. One that I never thought that I would afford. And that matters more to me than anything else. Having my health, after having cancer, having my health is a luxury. One that I'm really happy that I have. Because there have been times in my life that I have not. And it's been a huge deficit. Abundance is whatever you want it to be. And it doesn't have to be fear that motivates you to go for what you want or to do this work. What if we flipped the script? What if we focused instead on wanting to feel like the best version of ourselves, on really coming back home to here, right? What if that was our purpose? What if that was the thing that we really put all of our collective energy into? And it wasn't about the other stuff, the showy stuff, the social media worthy stuff. What if it was just about feeling so good in your life and in your body that things are better than you thought they ever could have been? Because that can come at any price point. That can come at any socioeconomic status. That could come in any religion, any class. It can come anywhere if you allow it to come in. And that, I think, is the bigger conversation. So, using the shadow to create your light. This is a really powerful topic because so many of these coaches that we're talking about, so many of these people who are trying to get you in with the advertising and using all those pain points in your fear, the thing that they are missing is that they are bypassing shadow work. They're trying to just sell you love and light. Like things are just going to be magic and perfect and rainbows and unicorns from day one. And all you have to do in order to be sipping on margaritas in the middle of Bali is just do what they do. And it's going to be easy, right? But it's not that simple. We all have shadow. And so if you're totally new to my world and you've never heard of shadow before, shadow is another word for the unconscious mind. It's everything that we bury. It's everything that we repress. It's all the stuff that our psyche is hiding from us, and it's doing it for a reason. From an evolutionary standpoint, for survival, it was better that we not know every single thing that's ever happened to us, because if we did know all those things, it might cause us to be thrust into turmoil. It might make us really anxious or really depressed. It might make us have a hard time reconciling our day-to-day life. And when we're doing shadow work, we want to avoid all that. We want to go into the unconscious mind and very slowly pull that stuff up to the surface. And when we slowly bring it up and do it in a really careful way, we're going to heal it by changing how it feels in your body. Your body cannot tell the difference between unconscious and conscious. Your body remembers everything. And so if you were bullied in the 5th grade by a group of girls who were horrible to you, your brain might not remember it if it was really traumatic, but your body never forgot. And so every instance that looks like that, like if you have a mean boss who picks on you, your body jumps right back into that old response that it's had before, right back there, like it never ever stopped in the first place. And when we do shadow work, we want to remember that moment on purpose, slowly and gently, and we want to rewire it within the brain and the body. The way that we do that is we take this subconscious feedback loop that exists within your mind that I talk about all the time, so just go back and watch any of my videos, they're all there. So we have the experiences, your emotions, your physical reactions, and your thoughts, and that loops together. And so in order to change how this original bullying is existing within you, what we have to do is we have to go back and change that loop. We have to experience it differently, right? We have to experience it differently. And when we do shadow work, we are literally doing that. We are changing the way that this lives in your body. We're changing the way that it lives in your mind, in your emotions, in your aura. And as we are making that change, we are changing you. We're shifting your vibration. And we're just shifting it in little increments, slowly but surely. And as we do that, even though this doesn't seem like much, what we're doing is we're taking it from here and we're moving it there, which is a totally different trajectory. We are changing your life in moments. Angela says, people don't understand the work you need to do to get where you want to be. It's true. That's why you remember how someone made you feel, but you don't remember why. Exactly. That's exactly right. You know, something I don't talk about a lot on here, but just for instance, I am Jewish and I grew up Jewish. And being Jewish is interesting because you can't tell that someone is Jewish by their face. So it's not like I'm walking around like with race where you can see, like if I were Hispanic, that somebody could see that. And so I'm Jewish, and it's something that people would talk about in front of me, like how Jewish people are bad or make Jewish jokes right to my face, thinking that I'm in on the joke. And really I'm the butt of it, right? And that would really sit with me as a kid. It made me feel awful. It made me feel unseen. It made me feel unworthy, less than, horrible. And it's something that I ignored for a very long time. Something I disowned, a part of me that I really tried to release. But my body never forgot how that felt. It never did. And so since I couldn't forget how it felt, my body would jump into that fight or flight response anytime I was criticized. Anytime it would feel like somebody was making fun of me, because it would bring me back to those moments in my early childhood. I'd be right there again, like I was 8 years old or 10 years old, and it was happening all over again. That's why shadow work is important, because what happens is we go back to those moments, bring them to the surface, deal with them, heal from them. And when we do, we're rewiring them throughout us, within our bodies, our minds, our emotions, and our energy within that auric field. If you want to create your own light, if you want to be someone who is magnetic and wants to have people flocking to you to work with you and all this stuff that the business coaches try to sell you, it has nothing to do with cookie cutter formulas. It has nothing to do with sales tactics and being icky and showing people that you have some crazy lifestyle of the rich and famous in order to get them to sign up with you. That stuff is bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. It should have nothing to do with that. Healing is what needs to be done. And when all of us, every single one of us, because it doesn't have to be shadow work. Shadow work might not be for you. It might be something else. It might be Reiki. It might be speaking with a medium. It might be Akashic Records or the tarot. Whatever it is that's going to make you heal, whatever it is that's going to make you feel whole, that's where your energy should be going. Because it doesn't matter if you're not going to be the next millionaire coach working out there. Maybe you will be. I don't know. That might be what you're meant to do. But healing is the focus. When we all focus on our healing, not only are we making ourselves better, we're changing our family situation because we're modeling good behavior for those around us. We're teaching our kids what they should be doing. We're teaching our significant others, our parents, our sisters and brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles. They're all watching you unfold. We are teaching the people who are around us in the more peripheral sense, like coworkers, and just everybody starts to shift, and it has a domino effect. And think about how big that ripple is, right? You probably influence, without realizing it, about 20 people. That's a minimum. 20 people within your field that if you start to heal, will start to want to heal themselves. And when they start to heal, they're going to influence another 20 people. Think about that domino effect and how much different the world would be if we all did this. How much easier life would be, because hurt people are the ones who hurt people. And so we'll have less instances of childhood trauma because hurt people are not going to be as prevalent, or it's not going to feel as deep. Our parenting is going to get better because we're not going to teach our kids to just shut up and listen. We're going to teach them to trust their bodies. We're going to teach them to listen to their gut. We're going to help explain why things happen, and it'll just have that ripple effect. And they're not going to bully other kids. They're going to listen to themselves and not question it, because how many of you guys watching this question yourselves because you were taught to? Because every adult in your life between the time you were born and the time that you were 18 years old told you to just shut up and listen. Or it's their house, their rules. Or you just have to be quiet and listen, and they can't tell you why that the test looks like this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't need to know that in the real world. Just shut up and listen and study for the test. We are constantly told not to listen to ourselves. Even when it comes to food. Like, you have to eat at this exact time, whether you're hungry or not, because that's the period that you have your lunch. And that's it. Doesn't matter if you're hungry 2 hours earlier or 3 hours later. You got one shot. We are taught not to listen to ourselves. We are taught to trust others. And so when these coaches come out of the woodwork and go, I'm going to show you how to be a billionaire. I'm going to show you how to live this lavish lifestyle. I'm going to show you that materialism is the most important thing. Run. Run away. Because what they're teaching you is not to listen to yourself. They're teaching you the lesson you've already learned the hard way, which is don't trust yourself. You already know everything that you have to do to get where you're trying to go. Believe me when I say that. Not just because I'm an expert telling you that, but because you know it in your gut. I know you know it. Deep down, you understand that you already have the answers. You already have the keys to wherever it is that you're trying to go. The piece that you're missing is just a little bit of extra healing. Whatever it is that's going to take you out of the shadows and into the light. And so whatever method works best for you. Shadow work, I found for me, was the most effective. And I find with all my clients that it shifts things quickly, really, really quickly. But it is not the only way. It's not the only way, not even close. For some people, it's just going to therapy. And maybe therapy doesn't go as deep, right? Because I'm a former therapist. And therapy really deals with the subconscious mind, the stuff that's just below the surface. But if most of your stuff is within the subconscious, you're going to move light years past where you are right now by going to therapy. Because you are going to shift things drastically. You're going to move. You're going to understand what makes you tick. You're going to see how you impact people and how they impact you. And it's going to be powerful. And so it really is up to you. But here's what I want you to take away from today, if you take away anything. It's first and foremost to trust yourself, because you are the guru. You know the answers and you know what you have to do. And secondly, to not let people manipulate you with fear, because you are better than that. Do not let anyone manipulate you with fear, because you shouldn't feel fear. Trust yourself, trust the process, trust that the road is not always easy, right? I went from being the Jewish kid growing up in the Bronx with no money, who was bullied like crazy and then got overweight and had a ton of acne, to having cancer, having life be really hard, and then getting here. And it was a really, really windy, tumultuous, crazy road. But I would not change it for anything, because it got me here. The struggle, the hardships, the shadow stuff, they're not bad when we think about them in the grand scheme of things. All that stuff is a sign that there's work to be done. And if I would have known that earlier, I would have started doing this work a lot earlier. And that's okay, because we all have our own timing and our own pace. Maybe I had to learn the lessons when I did. Maybe I had to go through exactly what I did to get here. To this moment with you guys who are on here live or watching the replay, to tell you that you know the answers already and that you're going to be fine and that you do not need to be manipulated by fear. Trust yourself, trust your gut, and lead with love. If you are interested in working with a coach or a healer or a mentor or a teacher or going back to school for something or switching careers, lead with love. If it feels loving, if it feels warm, if it feels like it's going to help you grow and expand in the most beautiful ways, that's what you need to do. Do not let fear be the reason that you do anything, because that never turns out well. Lead with love. All right, you guys, as always, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching this live, and I will see you all in 1 week on Monday at 2 p.m. EST. Bye, everybody.